Peace and infinite blessings, my beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Authentic Hippy Podcast.
What up, what up, what up, though? Welcome
Ye-
back, folks.
I'm very excited about the progression of this project.
Yeah, it's really been dope from where we started to where we are now. It's definitely been a lot of growth, a lot of progress. I'm really proud of it as well.
Teamwork is making the dream work.
That's a figgity. That's a fact.
I really love all those like weird cliches, but they actually are true.
Nah,
I fuck with them.
a lot of those hold weight, like hold real weight. So I fuck with them too.
Word.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. First of all, I'm Mufasa
So yeah,
Bastet.
indeed you are.
You know, that's who I've evolved into being. That's who I still am, as far as I know.
Mm. And I be Sir Thelonious, from J Rock to Young ASAP to JR Gunner to Sir Smooth to Sir Thelonious Smooth. Now I'm Sir Thelonious, you feel me?
Where is J.R. Gunna coming from?
JR Gunner is when I used to be a rapper and I used to sound like Lloyd Banks.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I did hear that. How old are you? Like 16
I was like
or 14? Like younger
I
than
was
that?
like 14. It was in '03. I was 13.
Yeah,
I was
13.
13. That's
Dang.
crazy. With a deeper voice than what I have now. Crazy. Yeah.
We need after school programs to still exist. You need to be doing something other than making inappropriate rap music at
Listen,
13.
I was talking that
J.R.
I was
Gunna.
talking that talk about what my life was at the time.
I wish I could like have a telescope,
Yeah,
but it goes through like time space and like you could go back in time, but like you could literally look at it through like a telescope.
yeah.
So I could look at your life basically.
Oh, it was very interesting. From girls to raps to street life, it was interesting. Very interesting.
It's weird.
Growth,
Anyway, growth
growth.
and evolution.
Indeed.
So speaking of growth for us, this is the first episode of 2021. How are you feeling about the new year? How is this like? How's the energy for you?
The energy is really good. I mean, since January 1st, I mean, even we brought in the new year in a dope way.
Facts.
Shout out to Music Beyond Measure, Tamara.
Gang gang
Yeah.
squad.
Dawn, I see you. Everybody else included in the organization. Yeah, Dean Jane into like the new year you hosting. It was fire.
It was fire.
Uh,
Raising money
mm-hmm.
for Music Beyond Measure, which is a nonprofit organization based out
Indeed.
of Montclair, New Jersey.
Indeed.
And their mission is creating arts programs for sexual and trauma survivors. So
Yeah.
it's a really, really dope organization. Black woman doing her thing. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we definitely had a great time DJing, MCing their virtual New Year fundraiser.
Yeah.
It
It
was
was really,
fire.
really dope.
That's the
And
first time I ever did anything like that, for,
yeah.
especially like on a New Year's. Like
Yeah,
that's like
likewise.
crazy. Like
Likewise.
that was really, really, really dope. And I feel like that set the tone for like what this year means for us for sure.
Nah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, I've been riding on a high, and just pushing forward with creativity, just progression, um, working on some projects with you, doing things on my lonesome. Just a lot of like dope elevation.
Yeah.
I can't complain. How about you, love?
I feel really good. And aside from work, because I feel like what happens a lot of times, like we're creative people and we put a lot of energy into creativity and we just get
Yeah,
so excited about like this $1 million that we're going to manifest, which I'm equally as excited about it. But at the same time, I feel like the most clear that I've felt in my
mm,
life. Like I feel like I know exactly what I'm doing. I feel healthy.
yeah,
I feel like I'm making great choices with my food and with my time and balancing. Like, I've gotten a whole lot better at balancing rest and work and like not feeling as if I have to like beat myself in the ground at work. Like, because even like being an entrepreneur and working
mm,
full time,
real
it's
talk.
been like a weird transition because this is the first time I've been here for a year, but
Yeah,
I took like 3 or 4 years off to do full time entrepreneurship. So now I'm back working and finishing grad school, all of
mm,
that. Like I'm doing a lot, but I'm like balanced in my energy and in my time. So I feel like I've done a really good job of just noticing what I need to feel good and to still have energy to get all these things done
yeah,
effectively, and so that I'm not depleted, completely. And whenever I feel like I need to rest, I just rest.
You
Like I don't
rest.
force myself
Hmm.
anymore like I used to. So I feel like this is a year of productivity, but productivity from a healthy space, not like a workaholic, I gotta save the world
Yep.
right now type shit. Like I feel more calm, more smooth, like just
More smooth.
I'm damn, I'm so mad I did that. But
Hmm.
just flowing with life in a certain way. And even with us, like the way our relationship is evolving and
Yeah,
um communication, all that stuff is just like it's flowing in a way that's healthy and present.
indeed.
Long story short. So yeah, I feel good. I feel really good.
There you go. That's really important to hear. And I'm glad you're feeling good. I'm glad that you keeping yourself in that energy and doing what we do. If y'all hear a little voice in the background, it's my loved one, Sage. Uh, he's our special guest that's not supposed to be heard, but he got to be heard. You feel me?
Multitasking, trying to do it all,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. COVID has been interesting in the sense that like our relationship to family and life is like
Yeah.
and work and all of that. It's like it's all one. It's not like I can separate myself and go over here and then
Hmm.
keep that over there. It's like no, everything is here at once, all the time together at home. Now balance it, figure it
Yeah,
out.
that's true. That's true. And it allows you to tap into a different part of yourself. Like when you have to multitask, when you have to realize that everything is not going to be separate the way that you would want it to be,
Yeah,
but you make it work for what it needs to be.
for sure.
And that's definitely been a testament to us
Yeah.
individually and as a unit. So I'm grateful that I have a partner like you to be patient with me and to be
Ah,
patient
my
with this
heart.
process. Yeah, it's real. It's really important because everybody can't do it.
No, that's a fact. And
Everybody can't
everybody,
do it.
it's like, yeah, this is a whole other conversation. We're not gonna start a whole new.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's
That's
for the
another
next
episode.
episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So
anyway,
chill to the next episode.
hey, I like that. That was beautiful. So, this episode of the Authentic Hippie podcast is super special.
Hmm.
We had some meaningful conversation this week with the sister. One of my loved ones. She's a part of my tribe. My kids will definitely call her auntie,
Indeed,
like our
indeed.
kids. Excuse me.
That's cool.
I love her so much. Her name is T'Challa Williams. She's a really dope poet, activist, and she came to speak with us about the generational gap in the Black community and what's going on with the elders from her perspective. And then just, conversations that we can have and what we should have. I think that if you are a Black person, if you're anyone really,
Hmm.
but specifically if you are a Black person that is out here feeling as if you don't have support from your family, I think it's important for you to humanize them and
Mm.
to understand why. And
That's
I
real.
think that T'Challa did a great job of she's, 45, I think she said. So like
Which is
she's
crazy.
older than us, which
Yeah,
and she has relationship to her elders that she can't very candidly speaks about in the interview. So I'm really excited to present this work. It helped me in my personal life, like and us in our, these are
definitely.
things that we talk about. So I'm really grateful for this episode. And then of course we have Rebel Rants because we like talking shit about the white folks.
Oh,
So
we do. We definitely do. It's necessary.
yeah, I just think that it's just silly. So so yeah, we have some pretty, it's a simple show this time, but I think that this is when we talk about quantity over like quality.
Indeed. Quantity,
Quality over
quality over quantity.
quantity. There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Ew, don't say the same thing as me at the same
Listen,
time.
we in a relation, so it happens.
In an epidemic.
In the epidemic, Lord, insider,
Good Lord. So
Lord.
yeah, so enjoy, tune in, contact us via email, authentichippy@gmail.com. You can also text 347-998-8903 to connect with us, ask us questions, and even suggest topics for the next episodes coming up. If you want to be a guest, share your music, all that
Mhm.
stuff. Let us know. We're definitely planning and growing and would love to collaborate with you.
Indeed, indeed. Send it through. We gonna review it. We gonna politic. And yeah, get into this episode. Y'all really gonna dig it.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
So we are going to let's jump into our favorite. Well, is it your favorite segment?
It's one of my favorite. The one,
Okay.
one and two. The one and two.
All right. So you want to introduce it?
We call this thing Rebel Rants.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
So basically, it's we talk about a topic that really is grinding our gears to a point where we don't know what the fuck is going on, and we're trying to figure it out, or we have a strong opinion about it with trying to figure it out. Just feeling strongly about something and expressing some truth, some questions, things like that. What we talking about though?
Yeah, well, here it flips locks. Here we go.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so we might as well talk about. I honestly don't want to talk about it, but I feel like
Yeah,
I have to, and
yeah,
that's annoying. But
yeah,
the quote unquote patriots, quote unquote, Trump supporters storming the Capitol.
yeah,
That shit was OD. And for me, it's like, regardless of what's true and what's not, just the images alone is crazy. And the fact that, like, social media platforms, like, I don't know, like, it's like,
mm,
I don't know. I don't know. For me personally, I don't care. It's something that doesn't necessarily sway me as far as what I'm doing.
yeah,
If anything, it just makes me go harder and like take advantage of the chaos. Like, I feel like whenever something like that happens, we know those are extreme views and extreme perspectives, and
indeed.
every white person does not feel like that. A lot of white people actually are is against stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like, a
very
lot of white
true.
people actually are like, nah, that's not, like, there's
That's
some that say this isn't America, but it is America.
it is
But
America.
they don't necessarily agree with it in that context. And so for me, it's providing me this space where, like, now I can put myself in there, because it's like, so either you're going to support what I'm doing, or you mean you're like that. Oh,
Yeah,
so you're not. Oh, so do you feel like that? And
yeah,
a lot of white people don't want to be put into that category.
yeah.
So it's like, for me, it's an opportunity, like the green light. It's like, okay, look, half of y'all doing, like, some of y'all doing this bullshit. That's what's up. So now that means that I can go ahead and make space for myself, because you don't want to make it seem as if you are like that.
Very true. It's kind of like finding the reasoning within the riot.
Right.
So it's like, even with white folk who say like, "Oh, that's not a representation of all of us," but it puts you in that space where it's like, "Okay, cool. So if it's not now, so do you support me or not? Like, are you for our cause as a people or not? For my cause as like with my people or not?" It puts them kind of like in more of a corner that they don't like to be backed up in.
Yeah. And I still don't know if that question, as far as, are you in my struggle? Like, I don't feel like
Yeah.
that's happening, like, at
Mm-mm.
all. Like, I think
Mm-mm.
that that's still like a very small number of people,
Yeah.
white people, who are going to do that, because even
Yeah.
the white liberals don't necessarily do that,
That's
so
true. That's true.
I just think that, I will say, it is fucked up that, you know I'm thinking of our kids, and just like how
Yeah.
kids must feel like the world is. It's like all of this chaos, all of this, it's like, it's misinformation. It's like information is being put out there, but it's like, so, some people are saying it was staged.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it's because of this, it's because of that, it's
Yeah.
because there's a black woman in there, it's because of wanting to stop Trump's vote. It's like, and the truth is, we're not the ones at the table strategically planning these images and these
That's true.
instances and these
That's
events and
very
these
true.
circumstances. Like, we're not there. So
No.
for me, I'm the kind of person, and this might not be the correct, I don't know what's correct or what's not, but what has worked for me to preserve my mind is that I don't involve myself in shit that don't directly involve me.
I'm the same way.
Like,
I'm the same way.
because, like, I still got, like, if it wasn't for the fact, like, I wouldn't even have known that shit that happened if I hadn't been in a meeting for work.
Yeah, and
And
you told me, and I was at work. So it's
yeah,
like,
like, it's just like, it's not a direct part of my reality, because I still have to work on other shit that still is not established. So for me, it's like, I feel y'all.
yeah,
I am informed, I'm aware,
yeah,
but I can't give it any more than that, because, like, I still got to get my shit together for me and my family. And, like,
that's all.
as I'm building my family, like, I still got shit that I got to work on. So it's
Yeah,
like, I see what they doing, but that's not my responsibility. It's not even my fight. It's not even my issue. I don't even
yeah,
know why y'all mad, to be honest. Y'all white folks that are dressed up looking crazy as fuck. Like, what exactly are you mad about? Like, I don't, y'all
Like,
got everything y'all need. I
yeah,
don't
like
get it.
you already get your way with everything
Like,
in fucking life. Like this is your America.
it's like the caucasity of it all
The
is just
caucasity,
ridiculous.
the mitigated goal. Like
Yeah,
it's
like
silly, man. It's really silly.
and I'm not that bored. Also, the
Yeah,
other part
that
about it
part.
too, especially with social media right now,
Yeah,
it's just like I got other shit going on, and coming on social media, if it's not for a purpose,
yeah,
I really can't do it because I have other shit that
that's
I'm
real.
doing,
That's
and
real.
I feel like a lot of people are wasting their energy, by not strategically deciding what you're doing with your time. Like, I don't have the time to really, like, I still don't care. It's the same way I didn't care. Like, and honestly, this might be fucked up, but like, I didn't even give it that much energy when George Floyd died. I didn't
Yeah,
give that much energy when, you know, a lot of the shit that has happened. Everybody's like, oh, 2020 was so fucking. I'm like, my 2020 was excellent, actually.
yeah,
I had a
exactly.
great year. I'm still having a great year. And it's because I'm not giving my energy to bullshit. I'm just
True.
not. And a lot of things on social media, a lot of things in America right now is bullshit.
Yeah, and that doesn't make me any more or less as an empathetic person or a sympathetic person because you're not giving so much energy to what everybody is giving energy to. It's like, yeah, everybody has their own shit that they're going through. We pay attention to what we choose to, but also if it's not directly affecting our lives, how much energy should you give to shit?
Because what can I do? Like, what
It's
exactly do you want me to do? Like, I'm aware of it, and then what?
Yeah, it's like make a post, go march, go pick like yeah, it's only
Ain't
so much
nobody
you can
doing that, and I'm
do.
not a martyr. Like, that's my thing.
Yeah,
I'm not a martyr. I'm not dying for no foolishness. Like, what? I'm not
nah,
doing that. Like, I'm
nah,
trying to live my life and live it as best as I can. So I'm gonna continue doing what I've been doing.
indeed.
And every time some shit happens, I use that same strategy, and that's why I'm one of the few people who are saying my life is fine, and people are
Yeah,
complaining.
that's real.
Like, I mind my business hard as fuck.
Yeah, that's facts. I can attest to that.
I'm like, what's going, like, I'm good because again, I'm serious about my shit. And a lot of people, I can't say how serious they are or are not because I'm not in your life, but I do feel like we give energy to things that we're triggered by. And like, I feel like
Mm.
we're still very easily triggered by race.
Oh, indeed,
And
indeed.
that shit don't bother me like that. Like, I'm like, white people don't, like, they silly to, like, a lot of, not all of them, but
Yeah,
like white American culture is silly to me. So it's just like, if they dressed up with whatever the fuck they dressed up on in going and sing, taking pictures, I'm like, that shit's actually hilarious to
yeah.
me. It's like, oh shit, look at what y'all doing.
It's
That's funny.
entertaining as fuck. Like it's entertaining.
And that's what Trump was. A lot of shit that Trump said to me was like, yo, that nigga is crazy.
Yeah,
Like, that nigga is
yeah.
crazy. But again, my business.
And especially when I don't give that much attention and power to politics. So like even in that regard, like and call it ignorant of me, it's still a lot that I don't really understand or know about politics to even give myself that space to be into it, to like really even care. But again, it's not my fight. So I don't know what you want me to do. What you want me to do? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I used to feel like that, but I have grown to feel as if that's an immature stance. I used
Mm,
to be like, oh, I'm an independent, like I don't
yeah.
deal with politics, and then I realized how everything is political.
Hmm.
It's just for me, I'm not an extremist, and I've sort
Hmm.
of found my niche in it, especially because I'm an educator and I
Yeah.
know that curriculum writing, policy change, like
Hmm.
all of that, that's political,
Yeah.
and even me, like if I potentially want to open a school
Hmm.
or any of these things are political. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's somewhat ignorant to say you because you cannot totally remove yourself from politics
Yeah.
globally, like period.
Understood.
I don't think that that's accurate, but I do agree with the way that the puppet show
Hmm.
is going right now. It makes it hard to say what's real and what's not,
Yeah.
because it's like, so we're really about to say that these people were allowed to go through levels of security, levels. Y'all got inside of the White House, them niggas opened the gate for you.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me y'all did that, but then black women peacefully protesting, you throwing tear gas out there and rubber bullets. You shot and killed a child and let the police get off on that.
That's real.
So I feel as if I can't give energy to shit I don't respect. And I don't respect people that live in sort of this hypocrisy, double standard bullshit. Like, I don't agree
Yeah.
with that. And that's what
Yeah.
white supremacy is. That's what that shit was to me. White nationalists, white supremacists, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And for me, my way to protect myself from that is just to be like, I'm looking that way. I'm gonna look that way. I see what y'all doing, but I'm gonna go that way.
Yeah. And that doesn't make you, like, again, any less like empathetic or sympathetic or like not caring about the cause. If it's not affecting you directly, then why should you give energy to it or like power to it? It's more
Right.
so power.
It's more so power.
It's more
Yeah,
so
it's definitely
power.
power. It's
Yeah.
definitely about power. For me,
Yeah.
it's definitely about power and what I am and am not going to give my energy to.
Exactly.
I'm not going to do that. So yeah, with that being said, we're going to shift into what we're getting into tonight.
Okay.
So the topic, so for you, why is the Black generational gap topic important? Like, what is that for you?
Well, it's definitely important to me because, again, I'm one who has struggled with being able to connect to elders or like big brothers, uncles, like father figures in regards of what I believe in, the truth that I stand in regards of just being a young Black man, being a creative. It's just always been like crab in the barrel type of energy when it comes to like not being able to connect with like your elders on a point where they're showing you respect, even with the respect that you're giving to them. It's like this disconnection that they have to a point where they don't even realize that you're an adult, that you want to truly be about something that's going to make a difference,
Right.
especially if they are people who have fought or are still fighting that fight.
Yeah.
It's like they don't give you the same respect or even the same attention to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna take you seriously, or like, oh, you do that, well, I don't do that, so now I'm gonna look at you differently. It's like it's just too much judgment, and I really want to know what's up, like what's the deal? Because it's not like the younger generation doesn't want to show you respect. We're just not gonna wait around for you to be like, you know what, come back. Nah, you know what, not right now, but come back. We're not gonna wait anymore because we can do everything on our own. But it's still the point of like, why is it that way?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's interesting because now I'm not really, or we're not even in,
Yeah.
the teenage
Hmm.
generation anymore. Like, now we're, I don't know what we're called as 30-year-olds,
We're
but like,
considered like somewhat elders,
yeah,
like
like
elder
we're elders
juniors,
to
like
other
yeah,
people, like elder, yeah, the
yeah,
elder
that's
juniors. That's funny.
crazy, like
It's weird because I don't even like. I know I don't look like that,
at
but I
all,
still
not
got
at
carded
all.
at the liquor
That's
store
a
last
fact.
week, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's this, it's this interesting. Like, for me, it's like I have felt disrespected by elders, and it's so offensive to me because I know that you have not put in the research, the intellect, the information. I know you have not tapped into your brain power the way that I have.
Indeed.
And I'm not judging you for the fact that you haven't done it. I'm actually trying to bring that information back to you to help
Facts.
God teach you shit that you clearly didn't know because you didn't teach it to me.
Real talk. Real
So
talk.
I'm not even holding it against you. I'm trying to help you and guide you along. Like, if I know for a fact the reason why you got gout is because you eat fucking Vienna sausages, I'ma not eat Vienna sausages, and I'm gonna try and tell you some other options of what you can eat.
Yeah.
But because I'm young or whatever, like, you don't respect the new information that's coming to you. And to me, that's annoying
Yeah.
because work still got to get done, and you still alive, you still here,
It's true.
you still able to help.
Yeah.
And now that I'm in the middle of like two generations, like I'm seeing the younger ones,
Yeah.
it's like, yo, like, these kids are emotional, they feel misunderstood, they feel like they're not understood at all, and they're not able to really properly communicate, they don't feel loved, they feel judged, and when I come and give these kids unconditional love in the school system, they gravitate towards me
Yeah.
in a way that's like amazing. It's amazing. But I'm like, why are you not experiencing the same thing at home?
Yep.
or with your elder or with your community? Like, why am I one of the only people that you feel like you could be yourself with? And of course, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still going to give you the truth. I'm going to help guide you. I'm going to whatever. But
Yeah.
you can talk to me because I keep it real. Like, I don't try and do this. Oh, I'm older, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to like not show you my flaws or not show you my scars or whatever. And I'm like, no, like I have to reveal those things because that's where the story is. That's where the
True.
lesson is. And I feel like I know for me, like I've asked that of my elders, just to tell the truth. Like, what's up? Just tell
Yeah.
the truth. Like, why is it that you ain't been around? Why is it that you not really trying to support my work? Why is it that you don't even know what my work is for real?
Real
Like,
talk. That's
what's
true.
up with that? I thought you cared about me, I thought you loved me. Like, what's good?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's ulterior motives. I don't know if it's the picture of perfection of like, I'm older and I've been through what you're going through and I am who I am now. So maybe I don't want to be reminded of who I was when I was your age.
right.
It can be a lot.
Like this like they haven't rectified
Yeah.
with their
Or
past.
or if you're doing more right now than they did when they were your age and they don't want to accept that.
But again, this whole like, why are we in competition with
But
generations?
that's how it is. That's how it is. And it's
That's
sad.
silly to me. I don't like
It's
that. I
sad.
really don't like that. And I think that when we talk about the division within the Black community,
Yeah.
it's like families it's about rebuilding the Black family. To me, I feel like that is the root of what our issue is. If we can rebuild the Black family, then we could really start to really see some progress,
Yeah.
especially economically, financially.
That's
But
true.
how are we going to rebuild the Black family if the generations don't communicate, if it's all just fake ass conversations at weddings and funerals and baby showers and shit?
And that's like endless and it's so tiring. We gotta switch the narrative, but it can't just be us. It has to be everybody. It has to be the elders. Because again, the youth is with the shits. Like we want to unite. They want to unite. But it's like it can't just happen in one sector. It has to happen all around.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
has to happen all around. So
And I think there has to be a willingness, like a genuine willingness
yeah.
to make that from both ends, from
Oh
the
indeed.
younger
Indeed.
ones and the older ones. And I think that there has to be a lot of intention behind it. And the root of it is just the fact that we are Black people. This is what
Yeah.
we're supposed to do. Like, we're
That's true.
family. Like,
That's true.
we should treat each other, like, if we're not blood related, like, you my cousin, you my loved one,
Yeah.
you are someone that I care about. And I feel like, I know for us, like with like our generation, like the 30-year-olds right
Mhm.
now and even younger, especially the spiritualists,
Yeah.
I know that a lot of what we do and what we believe literally contradicts like a
Yeah.
lot of generational shit before. And I'm wondering why there's not like this trust of like, you're my family, so clearly you wouldn't tell me or do anything wrong,
Yeah.
to me. So it's like, if you think that I practice voodoo, which I don't, but like literally have never been initiated into voodoo at all, I don't
Yeah.
do that. But if you were like curious, instead of just judging and assuming the wrong thing,
Yeah.
why not just ask the question and have a conversation
That's true.
versus like judging and then casting away from what you don't understand?
Yeah. Because it's too easy. It's too easy to judge, and no one wants to challenge themselves in regards of like really knowing what's going on with someone or finding out about someone, like their true identity, what makes them who they are, those decisions. No one wants to have. No one wants to have the conversation. No one wants to have the conversation.
Yeah, I don't. And I'm such a conversationalist. I know
Yeah.
that I know for a fact, like people in my family, like I'm like, if we're not talking about this, is even my family, friends, probably why I'm not that close to a lot of people, because
Mhm.
I've broken through my own levels of bullshit that like I don't know how to bullshit with people. It's like
Mhm.
I might try and shift how I say something,
Yeah.
but either way I'm still going to say it, and I'm going to speak very authentically, very truthfully.
Indeed.
And the point is not to harm anyone, but it's like, damn, like I know y'all all see this. I know I'm not the only one that see this. So
True.
like, why is it that we're acting like we can't just talk, especially since we family.
At least we think we supposed to be, and it's like, why aren't we?
I don't know. I don't know. So
Yeah,
that's why this conversation was important for us. So my thing was, I talk about this a lot with I feel like with my peers, like my generation, like
yeah,
or younger, we have this conversation, but I have, because of the disconnect, I haven't been able to really have that conversation with someone that I considered an elder or like older than me, at least 10 years older than me, that the
yeah, yeah,
next
yeah.
generation. I wanted to have this conversation. So as we mentioned before, I brought in my sister T'Challa Williams because she is one, and I'm not even trying to, I'm gassing sis, but I'm gassing her like for real, because she is one of the few people that I have met in the poetry artist community, which y'all know was filled with egotistical fake ass
Indeed,
motherfuckers. Okay.
indeed,
But
indeed.
she is one that has been thorough since the first day I met her. Like, she supports, she spends money, she drives her car and shows up at events, she gives hugs, she talks her shit. Her poetry is amazing.
Fire.
Like, I swear to God, me and her are cousins. When y'all see her, y'all gonna be like, oh yeah, y'all cousins for real. Like, we from the same tribe. Like, we both avatars from the hills of Kilimanjaro or some shit. But anyway, that's my sis. So she's elder. I respect her voice. I respect her opinion. And I wanted to bring her on so that we could, just have a different opinion. Because I feel like I can't learn or even shift my own thoughts about things if I don't bring in someone who's older and who I trust to challenge my thoughts. You know what I
Indeed,
mean?
I agree. I definitely agree. You
So
need
you
that.
don't know her as well as I do, but I think you will love her, babe.
I learned her a
She's definitely
little
coming
bit.
to our wedding.
We shared a virtual stage like about a week
Oh
ago.
yeah, for the
So
concert event. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, y'all. So we are gonna bring in my sis T'Challa. So sis, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good for a Monday in cold ass January. We working it out.
You know, and we live in Jersey now, so I feel like Jersey's a tad warmer than Connecticut.
Yeah.
Just a tad.
Don't brag. Don't
Just a
brag.
tad. Do you leave to like commute from work?
I'm probably about 15, 20 minutes from my house.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Okay, that's good. So
Yeah.
thank you for being here with us. I appreciate it so much.
Thank
And
you for the
I
invitation.
want you to just lay it on us like you do.
Indeed. Please
Mhm.
do.
So we're just going to start off. That we're talking about, the Black generational gap, the elders, the youth. Every side has
Yeah.
their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
But what, from your perspective, do you feel like is a challenge for the elders as far as, I guess, stepping out and relating to the youth?
Communication.
Sorry.
Um, right off the bat, and I think that the pliability needs to be on the part of the elders. I was raised by my grandparents, so I know that, and my grandma from Alabama.
Right.
So, she didn't want to hear about nothing. You did what you needed to do, and there was no fluff about it. Period. End of discussion. So, with that generation, children were seen and not heard. It
Yep.
didn't matter if you had an opinion. It didn't matter if you had a thought. It didn't matter if you wanted to add value to the conversation by putting your voice in. Ain't nobody want to hear from you. So I was an only child being raised by my grandparents, and I was the kid who had questions. And so I would constantly challenge my grandmother. She didn't like it. My behind did not like it either.
Mm.
But that did not stop me from challenging her, because for me, her instruction wasn't connecting. It wasn't making sense. I
Right.
needed it to make sense. And I remember one day I was arguing with her and I was like, Grandma, if we both know the sky is blue and you feel like it's purple, you're going to tell me it's purple and then be mad if I don't tell you it's purple, even though we both know it's blue. And she
Right.
was like, you're right. So she understood what her behavior was But at that age, she was not willing to change.
Mm,
And because I learned a lot of her stubborn ways, I was not willing to change either.
yeah.
So I persisted to challenge her, and she loosened some, to the point where I remember my uncle telling me, like, yo, I look up to you. I used to be like, Uncle John, stop playing. And he's like, nah, man, you be talking back to mine. And I'm like, I'm not talking back. I'm having a conversation. But for him,
Exactly.
it's like a no-go zone. Even as an adult, it was something you did not do.
Yeah.
And in my family, I was very observant. So I always noticed that the mother-daughter relationships were jaded. They
Right.
had all kinds of issues laced within them. I mean, the very fact that I was being raised by my grandmother instead of my mother, and my mother lived in Hartford,
Wow.
was evident to the tension between mothers and daughters.
Right.
So, in watching the adults, I told myself, I can't make that same mistake. I
Right.
have to be able to have open dialogue with my kids. I
Mm.
want them to want to come and have a conversation with me. Because sometimes what adults end up doing is you set these boundaries and these standards. First of all, kids don't even know you had a life where you used to be wild because you don't talk about that. So
Right.
you set these boundaries and these standards, like what they're doing is so foreign and outside the box,
Mhm.
knowing you only wilding because you was wild. So you trying to put extra restraint on them instead of having extra conversation with them about the reason for what they feel and the source of their anger and frustration. You're
Mhm.
not dealing with that. So kids then don't open up to their parents. They don't talk to you. They talk to their friend. They get misinformation. They go online through social media. They get more misinformation. And now they act on misinformation. Adults think young people is wild. Young people think adults don't listen. And everybody is right.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that definitely I think that's been my thing with especially with my mom. It's like I know that she has a lot of guilt. I know that the older generations, they have a lot of guilt about things that they consider to be wrong. And for me, it's been like it's just a part of your story. It's just information. It's just
But there's more
things that
shame attached to
happen.
that. There's more shame attached to that than victory. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
for us in our 30s and our 40s, we've come to an understanding that our story is our own.
right.
We have realized in watching our parents and our mothers and our fathers be in bondage to their past that we have liberty in our truth.
Right.
Mhm.
So can't nobody twist your story if you take ownership and tell your story first.
Very true.
Exactly.
Very true.
Now, what
Exactly.
other people say don't matter, how they talk about you and how they try to twist it and turn it don't matter because you told the story first. It's yours. You
Right.
don't have to be ashamed of it. But my mother never learned that.
Mhm.
So there's always this shame. Even now, like my grandmother has dementia. So
Wow.
even now, when my mother comes over, she knows my grandmother does not remember, but their body language says, I have an issue with you.
Wow.
And then my mother goes into almost like a child and she'll have her head down. And my
Wow.
grandmother will become interrogative. She don't know, she can't remember nobody's name or nothing, but she'll come in there and say, uh-huh, and some shit ain't right around here.
My
Ooh,
grandma
she's
to this
And
day.
so
spicy.
my mother will feel that right away. But she doesn't know how to come out of that. So then I'm in the midst of it. I'm like, what you talking about, grandma?
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
What you think not going right around here? What's really happening? Come
Right.
on, let's talk about it.
Right.
Cause I know her. So you're
And
not gonna be
that's what
spicy
so
and
did
throw
you
shade on the low.
right. So did you find your voice to be able to like it's almost like what I see it's kind of what your mom what you said about your mom as far as she cowering into like like her basically like a trauma response to what
Yeah.
she did when she was a child, but you were able to
Yeah.
transcend that and actually speak up. Do you feel like that's something that the youth need to do? Like they need to use their voice to speak up against those type of situations versus just cowering in and letting grandma be right and say whatever she want to say, although it's extremely hurtful.
It's a delicate line because I don't want to say, in my understanding, I've come to realize that people have been lied to so much, I have to tell the truth. I have to tell you the truth. You are so comfortable with the bullshit and everybody is catering to your emotions that no one has ever told you the truth and you have never adjusted and corrected yourself. So I have to tell you the truth. The problem is not everyone is ready to receive it. And when you start talking about young people, these people who adults are not having conversations with, they're not being honest with, adults not ready for young people to tell them the truth.
And that's the other point.
So I can't instruct them. It's a delicate. I can't instruct them to say, speak your truth all the time.
Right.
And then they go and they say, Mama, you with the bullshit. You never pay attention to me. You give more attention to your man or the man that you think is yours, because I seen him with Miss Mary down the street. But you pay more attention to them than you do to me. And the adult response is, stay in your place. I'm grown. You can't tell me what to do.
Right.
When it needs to be, these children see you. You have no escape from your children. They know you better than you know yourself. They spend their first 15 lives studying the adults in their presence. Head to toe, mannerisms, what you say, how you say it, how you cuss, what your vices are. They watching everything. So for them to get to adolescence, and now what you do and what you say don't match, and I can't question you, how am I supposed to get truth? And if I ask grandma gonna be like, oh, your mama just this, that. Don't worry about it. And she'll give me respite, but I still have this conversation that is not taking place.
Right.
Yep.
I still have a frustration. So I would say young people have to get comfortable in their truth, meaning you have to speak it to yourself first, because it's going to be odd when you first start to do it, because people don't teach us to walk in our authority, because our authority intimidates other people.
Indeed.
My authority intimidates my mother. I know that. I love her. I asked her one time, I was like, Mommy, where is your fight? Like, you know, my mother my mother might catch you in the mouth when she was younger.
That'd be the main question for me with a lot of like the late 40, older Black women. It's like, where is the fight? And at one point, I thought that Black women was known to be these things. But then when you look a little bit closer, it's like, it's there, but not in a certain way. Like, what happened?
I'm going to tell you. And my mother was a fighter. And when I asked her that question, she said, I gave it all to you.
Wow. Damn.
That kind of blew me. I did not expect her to say that, because it takes time to get to a place where people are vulnerable. But in order for people to be comfortable in their vulnerability, the person that they are having communication with has to be vulnerable as well. So I have to be vulnerable in my emotions. And when I allow that to happen, she's vulnerable enough to tell me the truth. And when she tells me the truth, we have space for correction, for understanding, and for growth.
Yeah.
But that communication barrier is vital. And I've always, even when I was young, because of my frustrations with my grandmother, I've always felt like the elders have held on to too much shame when it comes to them telling their story. Like, you have been, and I'm talking to grandmas, and everybody that I'm talking to right now is 55 plus. You have been in relationships where you have been abused and you pulled out. but don't nobody know. You have been in situations where you've been taken advantage of. You've had family members do you wrong. And we push with this strong woman trope, and that's a trauma response. So
Right.
now you got this, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. And you see your daughter going through, or you see your granddaughter going through, and the last thing you ever think is that they need to hear your real story. But the truth of the matter is, they need to hear your real damn story.
Dude.
Because how you got out is how they get out. You can't be stingy about your shit.
Yo,
You're gonna
sis,
sit
that
by and watch
is
them
like
go through
the
tragedy
biggest
and ride this
frustration.
shit out until their knees is scabbed up and their elbows is fucked up, they bleeding, they losing teeth. You know what was gonna happen, but because you too embarrassed to tell your story, you let them suffer. Stop your shit,
Yeah.
grandmas and great grandmas,
Yeah.
and tell them babies your story. This is for grandmas and grandpas, because grandpas got their dirt too.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You are a distinguished gentleman right now. But there was a time when you was an angry little motherfucker. And ain't nobody like you. And you see those traits in your grandson. But you don't want to have a real conversation. And this is why there's a disconnect. Because kids don't want to hear the bullshit. They hear the bullshit from the media. They hear the bullshit from teachers. They hear the bullshit from the streets. They hear the bullshit in every arena that they go in, and they hear extra capital bullshit on social media.
Yeah.
So when you come into them to have a conversation and you coming from this high and mighty perch, you already fucked up.
Right.
Because now they don't want to hear it.
Yep.
You have to come to them from a place of truth. You got to be honest because they want to talk.
And they want to. And I think that's the thing that we were talking about when we were preparing for the episode. It's like,
Yeah.
do they not realize how, like, do they not see the child's eyes begging, like, to have a conversation? Like, you don't see that? And I feel very offended that you're willing to let your children, your lineage, your bloodline
Yeah.
suffer unnecessarily because you're embarrassed.
Like, that's such a cop out. Like, that's not even acceptable. And again, kids call for that, like, conversation, for that love, for that vulnerability, because it's only so much you can share with your friends or like even like your siblings to a point where they're going through the same shit and they don't really know how to help you because they don't know how to help themselves.
Right.
Like, it's like a
Right.
it's like a constant thing. But
Like, yes, we have
Yeah.
a duty to guide our children through.
indeed.
And like, I have 6 children. 3 of my children are adults.
You have
But
6
as they were
children?
growing up, I have 6.
How old
Yes.
are they?
She lit up.
My oldest daughter is 24. My son is 23. My next son is 21. My twins are 17. And my youngest daughter is 15.
You have twins too? Wow,
Yeah.
queen.
I
Yes.
love that. It's so. I know you had boys, but I didn't know you had a whole team. That's so beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 boys and 3 girls. 3 boys
Oh,
and
that's
3 girls.
Oh, that's
perfect.
perfect. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So we would be home, and you hear the age range that I have. So
Right.
let's say one of the older kids had an issue, and I'd be like, all right, family meeting. We all gonna have to talk about this.
hmm
And we would sit like, okay, one incident was we had moved to this apartment complex, and this older white lady would always leave her door open, and she had like a trough of toys in the center of her living room. But in order to get to the
Weird as hell.
toys, you had to walk through the threshold. She had no children. None. So the other kids would like go and, go around her door and go and play. And so when I found out, I'm at the door like, hello, who are you? No,
Right.
no, my kids can't come in here. Where are your children? Okay, well, where are your grandchildren? Okay, so you don't even have children? This is like a pedophile trap. So
Right.
I had to come back and tell my kids, like, look, you can't trust this. You can't trust this situation. I said, because that old lady will have you duct taped to a wall in your drawers in her house, and I can't get to you. And that's the last place I'm going to even be thinking.
Exactly. That
And
you
it's
are.
all because the shit's the setup from the beginning.
Yeah.
But that couldn't be a separate conversation. That had to be a conversation I had to have with everybody. Even if
Right.
my 6-year-old didn't quite get it.
Right.
We're all talking together.
Hmm.
And you also had to have time that allowed children to speak without judgment.
Right.
They have emotions. They have feelings. They have things that they're going through. And even if it's like, okay, we're all talking and we'll express ourselves and we'll have debates and we'll have discussions. And then there might be a time where somebody might write me a letter.
Wow.
My kids have written me letters. They
Yes.
have written me emails. Like, look, I need you to talk to me. And if we don't make it important to
Mhm.
communicate with these babies, now we will lose them. Like this social media thing has them so emotionally wrought in the midst of the pressure and the hormones of adolescence. And there are adults out here who are so lost in communicating with their kids that they rather put them outside in the cold than figure out a solution. Like, we have to have these conversations. Like, if that's how I feel about young people, and this is male and female,
Right.
Yeah.
because we can't forget what boys go through.
Well,
They
right.
go through body shaming. They go through depression. They go through domestic abuse by women as well.
Yeah.
But again, if we don't make safe space for them to even be able to have a discussion about what they're going through, we'll never be able to correct behavior to help them heal and have a healthy life. Like, the goal is to have a healthy life. And
Right.
if we're finding that the young people are having emotional issues, then the people who have went through that period of their life, and you have vision because you have knowledge, so it's hopeful that you'll have some wisdom, which is your applied knowledge, you'll be able to see and guide them. And then the same thing, if you're a grandparent and you see that generation going through a phase of life that you've already gone through, so you have vision and direction, and you see the kids, you're supposed to give that information up. Like, give the shit up. You dying with all the answers, and everybody dying with your ass.
Whew. Woo.
That's the real truth. Dying with the answers. And how many times that doesn't have to happen?
I mean, well, thankfully, we know that it stops with like us. I feel like
Yeah.
the current early 40s, late 30s, I feel like we're the ones that's kind of like, all right, that's enough. It's not everybody. It's
Yeah.
definitely not everybody. It's
Yeah.
not everybody. But there are a lot of people that I see that are taking almost like responsibility for
Yeah.
the generations and for the lineage. And no matter how hard that is, it's extremely hard. The weight is very heavy, but I feel like we know there's no other option, especially when we see the blatant attacks on our minds through social media.
That's true.
Like,
That's
we
true.
see it, you
Yeah.
know. So it's like, for me, it's like I don't have a choice. I might be mad at y'all or whatever, but like I have no choice because y'all made a choice.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, because you made the choice to be hands off and just let it happen, now I have to clean up your mess. And I have a frustration, like you mentioned, but I don't let that stop me. If anything, it fuels me more
Yeah.
because I know how important it is, because I feel it. Like, I
Exactly.
feel, and I'm not ignoring my feelings the way that I feel like the
Right.
elders have
Have.
mastered. I don't even know how they could like live like that. It's like,
Numbness.
It's
yeah,
very
it is total
easy
numbness.
to settle in comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's no honor
Very
in
easy
that,
for
in my
people to settle
opinion.
in comfort. And the trend has been to settle not only in comfort but also in mediocrity.
Mm.
So
Exactly.
you become
Exactly.
content and not moving forward because you're comfortable right here. You don't have to adjust. You don't have to talk about racism because Bob don't really bother you at your job, and you get your raise every year, and Your house is comfortable. Ain't nobody robbed you because you moved from the hood. So, well, why you gotta go out and protest? You don't have to say anything about nothing like that.
Yeah.
Even though you got kids and your kids are with these kids and they're out in public and whatever they endure and go through is gonna eventually touch you, whether you got on a suit or your pants is sagging, a
Right.
mini skirt or some shit down to your ankles. If it's out there and we're not addressing it, it's going to impact us.
Yeah.
Indeed.
What happens to the least of us happens to the many. So if you're not addressing what's happened to the least of us, and this goes through all the barriers. So let's just
Right.
talk about our community right now. If we're
Right.
not addressing the least of our community, don't get your ass on social media talking about black on black crime.
It's a fact. It's a
Shut
fact.
up unless you're doing something. Like,
Unless you're
don't get
doing
out here and we talk about our frustrations and you talking about these black women angry again. Say what now?
right.
Watch out, because I'll show up and you'll really have to have that conversation with me. I don't need a keyboard and a cell phone.
That's
We're going
right.
to talk
Right.
because I know you and you know me, and I'll pull up. So
Can't
what
do
is
that.
the solution? What are
You
we
know
doing?
I know
You
you.
can
That's
talk
the
all
other
that
part.
trash
It's like,
all
who
you
you
want
think
to,
you're
but
fooling? You know I know you. Stop.
Mhm.
You know I know you. Cut it out. I will call you out. Stop.
I call you out from the sidewalk in front of your house with a mask on. Don't play.
Right. So, sis, we're gonna. I fucking love you so much. Oh my god. So before we get out of here, what is like a final
Mm.
thought about this topic? Whether it's like a tip for the young, the old, all of us as a collective. What's
Yeah.
like a final thought that you have, for this conversation?
I would say we have to find a way to have enough peace with our past that we're able to help others navigate through their future.
Mm.
It's not a right now, it's not a hurry up. It's an individual, because that's the only way that I'll be able to be comfortable enough with my truth to share it. So I
Yeah.
have to have peace with my past and accept it. And then when I see an opportunity, I have to speak boldly.
I love it. I shade to
Wow.
that. That is so
Ashay.
beautiful. So, what do you have going on right now?
Thanks.
Do you have anything
Oh,
major going
me?
on that we gotta talk about?
Yeah,
I know you got
you.
something going
Well, you
on. How's the
know,
book club
I'm
going?
always I'm always rocking with Harper's Lit. So,
Yeah.
we always have our book chats and various different things going on. So right now we have our global community where we're trying to just keep the focus lit and keep our book chats popping. This month we are reading Hood Feminism and Animal Farm.
I love Animal Farm. George
Yes.
Orwell. Yes.
Yes. Our next discussion will be January 24th at 4 p.m. So tune in and join us. Shout out to the Greater Hartford Arts Council. As a member of the Artist Advisory Committee, I am now a part of the board of directors. So I am super excited about that. Definitely, definitely. And also shout out
Congratulations.
to the
You
book
are
club.
Yeah.
making moves.
Sick. That's really big.
That's
Shout
huge.
out to the book club. This Brown Girl Reads. I've just been appointed as the poetry book moderator for that book club. So more books, more
Yay.
discussions, more awesome literature to dig into. I'm just, I'm excited, and that's just me doing my thing. I'm
Yeah,
just out here
you
doing my
doing it, and
thing.
you making it look real good too. So, where can what's your Instagram, social media? Where can people follow you?
Well, on Instagram, I am Shala Rock, ChallaRock. On Facebook, I am T'Challa Williams. On Twitter, I am Mama Jen 007. Where else am I? I'm on Goodreads too. If y'all got a reading challenge, how many books are you gonna read this year, Mufasa?
Whew. Well, I'm reading White Fragility right now.
Okay,
How many
okay.
am I gonna read? I don't know. I said at least 5 because last year I did not do good. I said at least 5. I feel like that's reasonable.
5
for
is
me.
good.
Okay.
5
I'm
is
saying
nice
5.
and solid.
You're getting
Yes.
through the
I'm
alphabet.
so excited.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Sir.
And I love that you're because I'm such a book. I've always been a book nerd. I read so much as a kid. I used to like suck down all the Harry Potter books, all kind of stuff. And then in adult life, grad school, everything, it's like reading just does not happen the way it used to when I was young.
Look at
I'm showing my baby.
Yes. I love that you make this such a thing.
That's nice.
So beautiful.
That look like wallpaper. It's so nice.
It does look like wallpaper.
See who I got in my corner?
I painted in the background.
Oh, that's fire.
I painted that vagina. The portal
She
to the
did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need Yanni in my Yanni verse.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here with us. I appreciate your voice, your insight, your power. This was such a necessary conversation for us, like in our personal lives. We wanted to make sure that it went out to the world because, you know, it's something that even as a young couple, like we're really just trying to figure out like what's up, like what we gonna do. So I really appreciate you dropping some wisdom for us. We needed it.
In more ways than
anytime.
Yes, I love you.
Anytime, you know, I always like running my mouth.
Yes, but you have a good rest of the night, and we will definitely catch up soon, sis.
Indeed.
All right. Peace, beautiful people.
Yo, that was so necessary.
That was love.
I love her. She's just
she's amazing.
But she said her grandmother was from Alabama, and you know that my grandfather's family is from Eufaula, Alabama. So maybe we really are cousins.
I might be related.
I'm gonna have to really hit her up and find out if we really cousins, because my family is definitely from Alabama too.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
If I find out T'Challa's my cousin for real, y'all go listen. Okay, so babe, do you want to say anything else before we get out of here? How are you feeling about that?
I mean, a lot of science was dropped, a lot of gems, a lot of things that we already know, but definitely hear more things from, I guess, the next generation's perspective as well, with that still being an issue with them.
Yeah.
But also just bringing the importance back to the kids as well. It's like, we know that we have this generational gap with the elders,
right?
But also it comes to a point where it's like passion versus pride, and that's our baby Nova. Passion versus pride. With the youth, it's always going to be more passion than pride, and then with the elders, it's going to be more pride than passion. And it has to be vulnerability meets in the middle.
Yeah.
When she spoke about vulnerability, so we all have to come together and just listen, be able to communicate, hear each other, and listen to each other.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to for me.
Yeah, I think that everybody has to try.
Yeah,
because even vulnerability, it's just trying, because it's not easy, and like we don't even know like what the correct way to go about anything. There's no correct way to go about life. Just try. It's like, really damn,
that's true.
Just try. Don't sit behind and do nothing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just try, and I consistently try. That's it. Like, damn,
you have to.
Anyway, so that's all I got. That was a lot. I'm gonna process this conversation, because it was like she was hitting on some like personal points, which is the whole point of why we do the podcast. So it's like mission accomplished.
It was necessary.
Bring T'Challa.
It was it was definitely necessary, like heart food, like for tonight, and like soul food, mind food.
I love that.
Just to like food. Just dwell on and really take in.
All right.
Where can they find you, my love?
So I'm on Instagram, my favorite platform, Empress MufasaBastet. If you just search MufasaBastet, I'm actually Googleable these days. So if you Google MufasaBastet, I'm the only one that comes up.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, the same for me. I'm Sir Thelonious on Instagram, which is becoming my favorite platform. I'm Selah Ross on Facebook, SirThelonious.com, you know. Do music, you can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, and whatnot. You feel me?
You know, get them streams up.
You feel me? Like new music on the way too. Check out Thelonious Tuesdays. I will be dropping another video tomorrow.
He's been doing rap videos on Instagram. I've been recording them, so it's pretty lit. Y'all should go check it out.
That's a figure.
Go check out his rap. No, he's a really good rapper. Like That's one of the reasons why I started like really digging him, because he like got bars. I'm like, oh, he's suavemente about this. Oh,
I mean,
I love it. I love the way he be rapping.
I
Oh
try
my
to do
god.
what I can do. You
Oh,
feel me?
okay. Don't get me started.
Sazon, sazon.
So Saturday, January 16th for
Yes,
Martin Luther
yes.
King Day, we are doing a Martin and Coretta virtual couples talent show.
Indeed,
So
indeed.
this is going to be very exciting. We have invited some couples, all different types of talents, to come together for Martin Luther King Day, just to honor Martin and Coretta. I think that they are just dope as a unit. And yeah, so we're gonna do that, and then we have some wellness workshops coming up. So just follow us on the gram to keep up.
Indeed. And also the Authentic Hippie on Instagram as well.
There's a lot. Basically, just look us up and then you'll see everything. Y'all know.
That's a
Y'all know
fact.
how the internet goes.
That's a
So
fact.
I love you. I love you. I love you so much. In case you have not heard it today, please stay woke about these streets, y'all.
Yeah, please do. And peace and light to the universe. And make sure you making that change matter and worth it. You feel me?
Bars. Peace, y'all.